a play. Politicians have been lying to the American people. But before we get started with this demonstration, let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything that you hear in this demonstration is allegedly. Salute to all of my moderators. Salute to all of my moderators. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to the chat. Salute to you, him, and her. We got to dig into this demonstration. Now, what did we see? What did we see at former President Jimmy Carter's funeral? We saw Barack Obama and Donald Trump laughing, joking, smiling, and having a good old time. Is politics or politicians the same as wrestlers that belong to the WWE? Are they the same? On camera, they're at each other's throats. They're trying to knock each other's head off. But behind closed doors, they are the best of friends. When we saw Obama and Trump together, what were they trying to tell us? All right. But before we go any further, I want to honor former President Jimmy Carter. Now, Jimmy Carter was the president between the years of 1977 and 1981, and he represented the Democrat Party. Now, I was a little kid during those years, but I would always remember hearing my mom, my dad, and the older people talking about Jimmy Carter. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Jimmy Carter. Now, when we see all of the former presidents, well, not all, when we seen those former presidents at his funeral, it was Clinton, Bush Jr., Obama, Biden, Trump, all of them, and I'm going to show it, all of them, and they had some of the vice presidents there as well. All of them had certain looks on their face. But look, let me just go to former Jimmy Carter. I want to start this demonstration off with former President Jimmy Carter. Throw some prayer hands up for his family. But what was Jimmy Carter trying to get us to see? Now, I found this clip of former President Jimmy Carter. So we're going to lead off with President Jimmy Carter. All right, salute to the chat. Nola, Perk, Coffee Girl, Sages, 80s Baby. I see everybody down there in the chat. Salute to the chat. But let's start off with Jimmy Carter, okay? In my opinion, I believe that they have been playing in our face for a long time. But let's listen to what former President Jimmy Carter has to say. Salute Positive Vibes. Salute Ms. Parker.
Why have we not been able to get together as a nation to resolve our serious energy problem? It's clear that the true problems of our nation are much deeper than gasoline lines or energy shortages, deeper even than inflation or recession. And I realize more than ever that as president, I need your help. So I decided to reach out and to listen to the voices of America. I invited to Camp David people from almost every segment of our society, business and labor, teachers and preachers, governors, mayors, and private citizens. And then I left Camp David to listen to other Americans, men and women like you. It has been an extraordinary 10 days. And I want to share with you what I've heard. First of all, I got a lot of personal advice. Let me quote a few of the typical comments that I wrote down. This from a Southern governor. Mr. President, you're not leading this nation. You're just managing the government.
Wow. Did y'all hear what he said? He got advice. Mr. President, you're not leading this nation. Let me backtrack. You're just managing government affairs. And the minister, Louis Farrakhan, said those exact words. I'm going to go to a clip from the minister, Louis Farrakhan. He says the same words that President Jimmy Carter says. You're not leading this country. You're governing government affairs. And many people believe that the president was the leader of the country. Many people believe that the president runs the country, but the president doesn't run the country. What was Jimmy Carter trying to warn us? What was Jimmy Carter telling us back in the years of 1977 through 1981? Listen.
First of all, I got a lot of personal advice. Let me quote a few of the typical comments that I wrote down. This from a Southern governor. Mr. President, you're not leading this nation. You're just managing the government. You don't see the people enough anymore. Some of your cabinet members don't seem loyal. There is not enough discipline among your disciples. Don't talk to us about politics or the mechanics of government, but about an understanding of our common good. Mr. President, we're in trouble. Talk to us about blood and sweat and tears. If you lead, Mr. President, we will follow. Many people talk about themselves and about the condition of our nation.
Let me just stop it, y'all. Let me just stop it. Appreciate that super chat. Appreciate that super chat, 80s baby. Appreciate the super chat. Salute Miss Wisdom Press. Salute Sabrina. We have an up-and-coming content creator. Well, we have two up-and-coming content creators that I want everybody to show love to. That's Miss Wisdom Press, along with All in the Queue. If I could get my moderators as well as the chat to show All in the Queue and Miss Wisdom Press some love and support, make sure y'all subscribe to their channels. I really would appreciate it. I see you, Miss Wisdom, and I see you All in the Queue. As y'all are listening to former President Jimmy Carter, I'll let you all decide what you all make out of this. And then I'll give my final commentary later on in the demonstration. But he is saying some very important things. Now, this was during his presidency, like I said, between the years of 1977 and 1981. And he made mention that you don't see the people no more. Let's go back into time. Remember during the 60s, I believe that the 60s was the most when it came to the whole revolutionary spirit. You had the Black Panther Party along with other black political organizations coming up. You had white women that were fighting for their rights as women. That included black women, and then women of all races joined in. But the 60s were the most powerfulest years amongst the people of America. You always heard that phrase, power to the people. Now, if Carter, and this was over 40, close to 50 years ago, Carter was saying something. The same things that we are seeing today is the same thing that the people were seeing during the time of President Jimmy Carter.
This from a young woman in Pennsylvania. I feel so far from government. I feel like ordinary people are excluded from political power. And this from a young Chicano. Some of us have suffered from recession all our lives. Some people have wasted energy, but others haven't had anything to waste. And this from a religious leader. No material shortage can touch the important things, like God's love for us or our love for one another. And I like this one particularly from a black woman who happens to be the mayor of a small Mississippi town. The big shots are not the only ones who are important. Remember, you can't sell anything on Wall Street unless someone digs it up somewhere else first. This kind of summarized a lot of other statements. Mr. President, we are confronted with a moral and a spiritual crisis.
Mr. President, we are confronted with a moral and spiritual crisis. And this was late 70s, early 80s. The American people were faced with morals, a moral crisis, as well as a spiritual crisis.
Several of our discussions were on energy, and I have a notebook full of comments and advice. I'll read just a few. We can't go on consuming 40% more energy than we produce. When we import oil, we are also importing inflation plus unemployment. We've got to use what we have. The Middle East has only 5% of the world's energy.
Wow. I want y'all to stay right there with what I just showed y'all about President Jimmy Carter trying to warn us. Now I want to go to why two parties dominate American politics, when we know that there are more than just two parties. Bear with me, everybody. Salute to the chat. Salute to all of my moderators. And we are trying to reach a 5 minimum super sticker, super chat goal over here. We already got one from 80s Baby and one from Nola. So we're trying to reach our 5 super stickers or super chats a day. So we're 3 super stickers or super chats away. I want to go to why the two parties dominate American politics. And if any of you all know, if any of y'all would care to share, that's fine. Why do y'all think only two parties dominate American politics? It's a reason why. And it's a reason why I want us to focus on why those two parties. Okay? Because when I come and do my final commentary on everything, I'm going to speak on everything that I show y'all. All of the clips that I show y'all at the end, I'm going to speak on it all. So that's why I'm basically showing you all this. But let's go to the two parties. Why the two parties dominate American politics? And make sure y'all double tap the screen to get my likes up. Double tap the screen to get the likes up. Appreciate that super sticker, Coffee Girl. Appreciate that super sticker, Coffee Girl. All right, let's see. Okay. Third party takes votes from the other two. All right. All right, let's see what we have here. So Randall says third party takes votes from the other two.
Dominated by two parties, the Democrats and... As we know, American politics is dominated by two parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. But that wasn't always the case. When George Washington became president, there were no political parties, none.
So when George Washington became president, whom was the first president? There were no parties. There were no parties when George Washington became the president.
And the Republicans. But that wasn't always the case. When George Washington became president, there were no political parties, none. What you may not know is that George was actually anti-party. He hated the idea of parties so much that in his farewell address, he spoke against them, saying, "The common and continual mischiefs of the spirit of parties serves always to distract the public councils and enfeeble the public administration." Not having political parties was a good idea, in theory. In reality, it didn't work. Washington's successors created America's first political parties. Other countries, like England or France, have multiple parties. But America has pretty much always had two major parties, currently the Democrats and the Republicans. But don't be deceived. There are actually dozens of third parties alive and well here in the United States.
And I didn't even know that all of these parties existed. You got the Independent American Party, Workers' World Party, the Justice Party, Freedom Socialist Party, Socialist Party USA, America's Party, Party for Socialism and Liberation, Citizens Party of the United States, Communist Party USA, Prohibition, you can just look, Green Party, United States Marijuana Party, Humane Party, Pirate Party, and many, many more. Black Riders, Liberation Party. Wow. Appreciate that super sticker, Nicole Carter. Appreciate that super sticker, Nicole Carter. Wow.
Like the Libertarians, the Green Party, the Transhumanist Party, the United States Pirate Party, and even the American Shopping Party. While you may not have heard of them, a vote for them could have a huge impact. If a third-party candidate can get just 5% of the vote, their party can be eligible for federal election funds and just maybe shake things up.
Wow. How many of you guys knew that? How many of you guys knew that? Wow. Appreciate that super sticker, positive vibes. Appreciate that super sticker, positive vibes. I think we reached our 5 super sticker, super chat quota for the day. Appreciate the super stickers and super chats. All right, so got those two out the way. Now what I want to do, I want to go to the speech. I want to go to the speech that made Barack Obama president. Give me a minute, y'all. But I want to go to the speech. Now, when Obama was running, all right, in my opinion, I didn't think anything would change, in my opinion. However, I did like the fact that a black person, a black man, was running for the president. And I heard this, I want y'all to keep this in mind. I heard this from a white man. He said, brother, trust me, nothing is going to change for black Americans because Obama is not black America. Obama's father is Kenyan. Obama, is from Kenya. And at the time, I said no. I didn't pay any attention to it. And it still haunts me what he meant. But I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. Give me a second, y'all. Salute Ronnie. Salute Ronnie BFH. I see you, Ronnie BFH. And when you hear, I want y'all to pay attention to Obama's speech. Salute Marie. Salute Marie. So when you hear it, and then I'm gonna play a clip from the minister Farrakhan, and when you see Obama and Trump at former President Jimmy Carter's funeral, and when you zoom in and you see the laugh and the smiling, and you see, are you serious? Salute Miss G. Salute Miss G. Now, this is the speech. This is the speech, allegedly, let me say allegedly. This is the speech, allegedly, that made Barack the president. And I want y'all to pay close attention to him now. And listen to the commentary, listen to how they break it down. But this is allegedly the speech that made Barack president.
Barack Obama in 2004 was totally unknown. People were saying, I don't know who this guy is. I wonder why they picked him.
He had this reputation as a bit of an upstart, as sort of a young, rising figure in the party, but no one knew who this guy was. This was his chance to introduce himself to people.
Tonight is a particular honor for me because, let's face it, my presence on this stage is pretty unlikely. My father was a foreign student, born and raised in a small village in Kenya.
What makes a great political speech is if you can somehow fold your story into this larger American story.
The next thing he says is about his mother's family. His grandfather fought in World War II. He used the GI Bill. They settled in Kansas, so white people could say, he's just like us.
Did y'all catch that? Let me backtrack. Did y'all catch that?
What makes a great political speech is if you can somehow fold your story into this larger American story.
The next thing he says is about his mother's family. His grandfather fought in World War II. He used the GI Bill. They settled in Kansas, so white people could say, he's just like us.
It was all a play. Barack Obama becoming the first black president was all a play. There's more, y'all. There's more. I see you, James.
My parents shared not only an improbable love, they shared an abiding faith in the possibilities of this nation. I stand here knowing that my story is part of the larger American story, that I owe a debt to all of those who came before me, and that in no other country on earth is my story even possible.
Going into this speech, we've had 4 years of George Bush, and we felt as a country like we've grown further apart.
'04 was very much a divisive partisan race. Obama's speech is in some ways an antidote to that.
Alongside our famous individualism, there's another ingredient in the American South. A belief that we're all connected as one people. If there's a child on the south side of Chicago who can't read, that matters to me even if it's not my child. If there's a senior citizen somewhere who can't pay for their prescription drugs and having to choose between medicine and the rent, that makes my life poorer even if it's not my grandparent. It is that fundamental belief, I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper, that makes this country work. E pluribus unum, out of many, one.
Now he's even talking Masonic language. He's even speaking Freemasonry language. There's more.
It's a speech that presages his entire political message of 2008, which is this sort of post-partisan argument.
Now, even as we speak, there are those who are preparing to divide us. The spin masters, the negative ad peddlers, who embrace the politics of anything goes. Well, I say to them tonight, there is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America.
Obama was born with two great gifts. That one is his mind, and the other is his ability to speak to large groups of people.
There are three things that Obama does that really makes that speech effective. He wants concrete detail. He likes story, and he loves antithesis, the use of repetition in structure to show contrast. There is
Positive Vibes says he knew what to say. Whoever wrote that speech knew what to say to reach the people. And you couldn't have said it no better, Positive Vibes.
not a liberal America or a conservative America. There is one America.
There is not a black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America. The pundits like to slice and dice our country into red states and blue states, but I've got news for them too. We worship an awesome God in the blue states, and we don't like federal agents poking around in our libraries in the red states. We coach Little League in the blue states, and yes, we've got some gay friends in the red states. We are one people, all of us pledging allegiance to the Stars and Stripes, all of us defending the United States of America.
The way he uses his hands, he actually points a lot, does a lot of this, a lot of this, a lot of that.
In doing so, he gives off this sense of energy. I am new. I'm someone who is dynamic.
And he doesn't do that so much anymore. He's a little more solemn and reserved when he gives speeches today, but I think it's more reflective of his office.
In the end, that's what this election is about. Do we participate in a politics of cynicism, or do we participate in a politics of hope? It's the hope of slaves sitting around a fire singing freedom songs. The hope of immigrants setting out for distant shores. The hope of a young naval lieutenant bravely patrolling the Mekong Delta. The hope of a mill worker's son who dares to defy the odds. The hope of a skinny kid with a funny name who believes that America has a place for him too. Hope. Hope in the face of difficulty. Hope in the face of uncertainty. The audacity of hope.
His appearance at that convention, which was the best speech of the convention, better than John Kerry's, was electrifying. And without it, he wouldn't be president.
I think sincerity means a lot. There are people who, when they speak the truth as they see it, and they're very effective doing that.
I believe this country will reclaim its promise, and out of this long political darkness, a brighter day will come. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you.
He knew exactly what to say. Or as James says, he had a ghostwriter. He had a ghostwriter. Let me come to the chat for a few, y'all. Drop some comments on me. James says someone was ghostwriting for him. Drake says, where? Big Mike hiding that. Coffee Girl says, okay. Yes, please no cuss words, y'all. Please no cuss words. Coffee Girl says he had a gift of delivering a speech. Randall says transgender books in the library. Yes, he knew how to deliver. And I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him. But I got one more. I'm going to go to the minister. I'm going to let y'all hear what the minister has to say, had to say about Obama. Appreciate that super sticker, 80s baby. Make sure y'all get the likes up. We got 151 watching. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen and get my likes up, y'all. Double tap the screen and get the likes up. And see, the minister Farrakhan, he been said this. He been said this. And if, in my opinion, if anyone had an opportunity to change things in this country, I believe it was Obama. I think it was Obama. If anybody, exactly, Perp, they are all full of it. Perp says they are all full of it. But let's go to the minister. Let's go to the minister and hear what the minister has to say. And this was a minute ago, but this is the minister, y'all. Check out what the minister Farrakhan has to say about Obama.
I spoke in 2007 about Barack Obama. And CNN said, well, what do you think about this young man? I said, I think he's brilliant. I think he has fresh ideas. But I'm under no illusion that even if he did become president, that he could change the reality of black suffering in America, because when you are running for something.
Let me backtrack. I don't mean to interrupt the minister. Salute Martin, but let me backtrack and listen to what the minister has to say. He says he's very bright. Listen to the minister, y'all.
On CNN, I was questioned after I spoke in 2007 about Barack Obama. And CNN said, well, what do you think about this young man? I said, I think he's brilliant. I think he has fresh ideas. But I'm under no illusion that even if he did become president, that he could change the reality of black suffering in America, because when you are running for something, you can say a lot of things. But when you sit in the seat and you feel the energy of electricity putting something on your backside, the forces that surround power is always the real power. President Obama does not run this country. President Obama has been chosen to govern white affairs. And if in that process we get something, it won't be because the governing powers want it. It will be because we organized and forced our government to speak to our needs.
Salute Melanated Queen. Salute Melanated Queen. Did y'all hear what the minister said? Positive Vibe says that's all true. Did y'all hear? Did y'all hear what he said? If, and I feel like not only black people, I feel like Americans, period. And that's why the Americans that get things accomplished, if you notice, they are a force. First, is some unity there. James says, preach. Sabrina says, I think Farrakhan too can capture an audience with his words. So if there's no force, then the president is not going to be able to get nothing done. Let me backtrack the minister, y'all. Let me backtrack. And let's not focus on the minister. Let's just focus on what the minister is saying that's true.
Something, it won't be because the governing powers want it. It will be because we organized and forced our government to speak to our needs. Now, look, thank you for the question. I want it clearly said in love that I love my brother. I voted for him. At 5 o'clock in the morning, I was out there with my wife voting for our brother. I, like you, am very proud that a black man sits in the White House. But I also understand very clearly, and we should understand that it is the White House. And until we exercise power to force that house to address our agenda. Now remember, our dear sister Julianne Malvo mentioned A. Philip Randolph.
Let me just stop it. Appreciate that, Martin. Appreciate that super chat. Martin says a little trolling there. Appreciate that. But if you listen to the minister, until we force, even though that is the White House, make no mistake about it, but until we force that White House, until we force them, because they're not going to do anything for us. Trust me. Trust me. Let me backtrack the minister, y'all.
Now remember, our dear sister Julianne Malvo mentioned A. Philip Randolph. Man, that was long time ago. And the cry was jobs and justice. And the March on Washington in 1963, the cry was jobs and justice. In the 20-year anniversary of the March on Washington, the cry was jobs and justice.
Now I'm going to leave it and stop right there. All right. Now, the minister gave it up. Now, this is my message to white America. But before I deliver my message to white America, let me give y'all what I always say. In the year 2025, it's no longer a black thing. It's no longer a white thing. It's no longer an immigration thing. In the year 2025, it's an American people thing. We as Americans have to come together to fix our problems. We can no longer expect and wait for others to fix our problems. This is my message to white America. They have been playing white America the same way they've been playing black America. They have white America feeling privilege. I just want y'all to listen to me now. They have white America feeling privileged. It's a reason why they done that. But as you see lately, white America and the legal immigrants, but my white American family, if you see now, they are bringing illegal immigrants over here, and they are giving illegal immigrants more than what they are giving white America as well as legal immigrants. See how they playing right in our face. And I know for so long, white America thought and looked upon black Americans and looked down on black Americans. But guess what, white America? The same play that they ran on us for 400 plus years, they are beginning to run the same play on y'all. Now, I want to go to another. Let me take some comments. And please, y'all, listen to my moderators, all right? Listen to my moderators. I'm only going to say this one time. That's why y'all got to listen to my moderators. My moderators are in blue. If my moderators say no cursing, no profanity, please listen to my moderators. Moderators, give them one chance. If they still cussing, if they still doing stuff that y'all told them not to do, get them up out of here. I don't mind y'all trolling me, but no profanity. No profanity. And moderators, if it's somebody that's, I can't say that because sometimes y'all might get upset. But please listen to my moderators, y'all. Please. But they've been playing in our face for a long time. Because how do you go? All right, here we go, y'all. Here we go. Now, somebody explain this. And I will jump to the chat, y'all. Somebody explain this.
Sitting next to President Trump, suffice it to say, something you just don't see.
Somebody explain this. I'll take comments from the chat. Drake says, I'm sorry, the truth. I'm sorry, that is the truth and why everyone voted in Trump. Positive vibes, threw up the emojis. Yakub, the big head scientist, says Melania is, look at her facial expression. She has the same facial expression that Kamala Harris has. Look at the eyes. Yakub says, real cougar. Look at those eyes. Look at her eyes. But look at Trump. And look at Obama.
It is not a common occurrence, that
So
is
much
for sure.
history.
Barack Obama campaigning for the Vice President Kamala Harris. Obviously, she did not prevail. And now sitting next to Donald Trump, exchanging a smile. Former President George W. Bush, former First Lady Laura Bush.
Do y'all see it? Do y'all see it? Miss Wisdom says Kamala was mad when she turned around and saw that. Miss Wisdom says Melania is done with everything. Martin says she is pretty though. I hear you, Martin. Martin says she pretty though. Coffee Girl says Melania straight gangster, stared down Kamala when she turned around. Drake says, there's that warmonger Bush. Let's look at the looks, y'all. Look at the looks on everybody's face. Positive Vibe says Kamala and Obama were the only two seasoned people among the unseasoned people. Look at the looks, y'all.
Shaking the hands, and this, as Jimmy Carter probably would have liked, is somewhat cathartic for a country that...
Coffee Girl says no one spoke to Kamala. And did y'all see the look on Kamala's face? Y'all see the play? Do y'all see the play? Kamala and Obama didn't even acknowledge each other. Salute MTGV Crime Podcast. And make sure y'all subscribe to MTGV Crime Podcast. She's another content creator that's doing big things. She's been covering those wildfires out there in California, and she does an excellent job. Salute MTGV. Appreciate you for pulling up. Make sure everybody show MTGV Crime Podcast some support. Sajid says the ruling class are close friends behind camera. It's always the everywhere, even in Ghana, so I ain't surprised, Shank. Salute Snoopy, salute Snoopy, salute. Positive says Obama was looking like a cheesier cat, smiling so hard. Facts, y'all, facts.
The vast majority of people truly hunger for some sort of connection and way forward to try to erase some of these dividing lines. The Bushes, Barack Obama, Donald and Melania Trump. Here we see former President Bill Clinton, former First Lady Hillary Clinton, former Secretary of State, obviously. On the far left in that back row, Dan Quayle shaking the hand of Bill Clinton a moment ago. Al Gore, who was obviously Bill Clinton's vice president.
What are they talking about? Make sure y'all double tap the screen and get my likes up. What are they talking about? What are they talking about? Yakub says, has anyone read the book of Tricknology? Sabrina says, question is, where was Michelle? Drake says, Clinton? What's the count up to now?
So many chapters of history, if you will. Obviously, Hillary Clinton having run against Donald Trump in 2016, losing that election, the Electoral College in a very close election, winning the popular vote.
Coffee Girl says they ain't talking about gummies. You see Hillary Clinton, you see Bill Clinton, and you see George Bush Jr. Wait until Kamala comes in.
Returning here with her husband, sitting next to George W. Bush, where she has been seated many times before. It wouldn't be fascinating to be able to hear the conversation right now, Terry Moran, between Barack Obama and Donald Trump?
It sure would. I mean, you're looking at
I guess I've been talking too much, y'all. I guess I've been talking too much. Coffee Girl says George looks like he's holding the gummies. Sajid says Trump even posted a lip play video about on Twitter. Martin says lip readers could tell us what they are saying. Do we got any lip readers in the chat? Do we got any lip readers in the chat? Martin says lip readers could tell us what they are saying. Let me get back to the video because I've been talking too much.
vituperatively as any people in in American history, any presidents in American history. They're chatting away. And it occurs to me that it could be this re-election of Donald Trump, who will pursue an agenda that Barack Obama will no doubt totally oppose. But this re-election settles things in the country a bit. It's almost as if Trump felt, with not winning the popular vote in 2016, that he would, in some ways, not have been legitimate, or was refused legitimacy by many people in the United States. Now, there's no doubt he's the major politician of this era, and maybe there's more to talk about, more to share, and they're just two politicians who are able to get along with people they despise.
Give me a minute, y'all. I gotta find Kamala when she came in. Kate Carr says Obama pulled the short straw and had to sit beside Donald Trump. You can't make this up. Coffee Girl says, y'all match Melania, stare at Kamala when she turns around. She's going to look at her like, don't start none. Let me find when Kamala came in, y'all. You can't make this up, though. See, for me, it's Obama. Obama is what really does it for me, because you could just see how they used Obama. And you could see how Obama played right into it. Like, bro, you don't even see that they used you. You don't even see how much of a fool they got you looking. Let me find Kamala, y'all. All right, here we go. Here we go, y'all. Like, y'all don't even see, Obama, you don't even see how much of a fool they made out of you. And the dagger is with Kamala. All right, y'all, here go Kamala. Look at Obama now. Look at Obama now. Do y'all see the look on Obama? Wow. Look at the looks. Let me backtrack it, y'all. Look at Obama. Let me backtrack it. Salute Perp. Perp says the hate on his fate. Also, make sure y'all check out Perp. Perp is from the Switching Lanes sector. Make sure y'all go and show my girl Perp some love and support. Perp be dropping jewels on her channel, and Perp is always doing fundraisers for the homeless. So make sure y'all check out my girl Perp representing the Switching Lanes sector. But look at the looks, y'all. Look at the looks.
Why would I use color?
Goddamn commercials. But are y'all seeing the same things that I'm seeing? I see you, Aunt Esther. Look at her. Look. Let me say it again. And this not only applies to Americans, because as my brother Sagis says, the politics is even like that in Ghana. Let me say it for the people of the world. We all have to do better. We have to realize that the powers to be are playing all of us against each other. And we have to understand that God created us all, and we all belong to one race, and that's the human race. No longer can we let these silly titles and silly names and organizations, brotherhoods and sisterhoods, separate us and divide us and keep us fighting each other. Let us all do better, and let us learn how to love thy neighbor. I appreciate you, T-Mill. I appreciate you. Look at the looks, y'all. And you're right, Coffee Girl. Even Biden sat next to her and didn't say nothing. Wow. Salute Taylor. Salute Taylor. Appreciate you for pulling up. Salute Taylor. Salute Taylor XO. Taylor XO is another content creator. Make sure everybody is supporting the content creators that are in my chat. Just look. Now she begins to smile. Now she begins to smile. And you all know Miss Parker. Miss Parker is another excellent content creator. Salute Londa. Salute Londa. No problem, Taylor XO. Make sure we all are supporting Miss Parker. Salute Capricorn Chronicles. Miss Parker is always dropping jewels on her channel. But just look, she's beginning to smile. There's the look. Wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute. What are y'all thoughts? What are y'all thoughts? Salute Shano. I see you, Shano. Shano is another content creator. Make sure we support Shano. Make sure we supporting Shano. He's a content creator as well. Let me try to grab some comments. Perp says she's smiling because she know she got set up. That's a good point, Perp. I ain't look at it like that, Perp. That's a good point, Perp. Taylor says she scares me. Her whole everything about her. Positive Vibe says she only smiled for the camera. Sagis, Miss Parker. James says if Kamala do the election, I think she would change a lot. Esther says she really wants to bust out laughing at this point. Yakub says Kamala looks like she's holding a fart. Just look at her, y'all. Just look. Coffee Girl says it says something when no one says hello to you. Yes, it does. Just look, y'all. Everybody else is talking. Martin says she does kind of look like she's holding back a squeaker. Boy, y'all got jokes today. Perp says, yes, Coffee Girl, and she is feeling it. Sabrina says, I think the Bidens used Kamala. Jill don't like her. They used her. Yes, they did, Sabrina. They used her. First, they used her to be the vice president because if she wasn't the vice president, Biden wouldn't have never won against Trump. And I've always said that. James says, yeah, she looks disappointed. If Biden didn't have her as the vice president, Trump would have won. Trump would have won. Kate Card says, why would they turn on her? She's not in the club. Think about it. Good point, Cape Cod. She smiled for her honey. Sabrina says, yes, Shane. She smiled for her honey. Wonder what her old man said to her. Coffee Girl says, why isn't her husband talking to her? He has to know she's feeling uncomfortable. That's a time when your other half steps up. You're right, Coffee Girl. Wow. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up, y'all. Yakub says she knew what she was getting into. Perp says the one word, she's a woman. You can't make this up, y'all. You can't. Biden doesn't even say nothing to her. Now, keep in mind, it is a funeral. However, you can acknowledge one another. You can look at one another. You can hug one another. Most of the funerals that I've attended, we've always hugged each other. Most of the funerals, we always hug each other. And if we don't hug each other, we at least acknowledge one another. Positive Vibes says, it's all eerie watching this. Yes. Perp says, if Hillary didn't be president, what make America think Kamala was going to be the golden woman? I agree with you, Perp, because I've always felt like Hillary makes a better president than Trump. I never felt that Kamala did. And I've always said that. If Hillary, and I think with Hillary, I think because Trump had the advantage over Hillary because he was able to speak about those emails. Kate Carr says they all acknowledge each other, but not her. Facts. Coffee Girl says what makes it worse is each one of them knew this was going to be on TV. Therefore, even if they had spoken backstage, they should have done it again for the camera, period. That's facts, y'all. That's facts. Because Obama, now, if we want to give Obama the benefit of the doubt, which we can, because I even looked at it like this. I said, well, Shank, Obama was probably, and somebody in the chat had mentioned that as well. Shank, Obama was just being the bigger man. Obama was just being the bigger person because Obama knew that the cameras was rolling. So I was saying to myself, that's probably why Obama, was talking with Trump, hey, look, it is what it is. We're at a funeral. I ain't tripping. I'm going to be the bigger person. Because we got to remember now, one thing about Obama is very he's intellectual. He's very wise. He's sharp. So, Obama, he could see certain things. Like, okay, it's going to be best if I just go along because the cameras is going to be on me. And I don't want to go out here and I don't want to seem like an asshole. It's no need for me to act like an asshole when the cameras is rolling. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to be as diplomatic as I can. I'm going to stay in the gray area. I ain't going to go black or white. I'm going to stay in the gray area. In other words, it's politics. It's politics. I don't like Trump. However, it's politics. And I have to be the bigger person. James says, Shank, remember Obama really didn't want to endorse Kamala. Right. And that's why, James, I couldn't understand why was Obama giving black men so much smoke when he didn't even want to endorse her. Right? The veteran says, playing the game because game got game. That's true. Karen says, what happened? I got one more clip, and then we're going to get out of here. Cape Cod says, Michelle kept it real. She didn't show. Right. Michelle said, you know what? I'm just going to keep it real. I'm just not going to show up. Coffee Girl says, Cape Cod, that's how you know they didn't give a hoop about her, period. Now you cannot like her policy or points of view, but you don't have to treat folks distasteful, just my opinion. I agree with you, Coffee Girl. I agree with you. The veteran says the Democratic Party would have done better playing bingo for party leadership. I got one more. I think I might have played everything. All right, I got one more, and then we're going to get out of here. And that's going to be Trump answer questions about Canada, the Panama Canal, and Gulf of Mexico. Because just like Obama, Kamala got some questions to answer. Trump got some questions to answer too. And then we're going to get out of here. Like I said, I agree with a lot of things that Trump stands for. But I just don't agree with his move as far as Canada changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America and Greenland. The Eskimos said, those Eskimos over there in Greenland, they said they ain't going for it. All right, let's hear what Trump has to say. He's going to answer some questions. And y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm not with Trump as far as him pushing up on these other countries. No.
So, you know, a big part of the problem was Russia for many, many years, long before Putin said you could never have NATO involved with Ukraine. Now, they've said that that's been like written in stone. And somewhere along the line, Biden said, no, they should be able to join NATO. Well, then Russia has somebody right on their doorstep, and I could understand their feeling about that. But there were a lot of mistakes made in that negotiation. And when I heard the way that Biden was negotiating, I said, you're going to end up in a war. And it turned out to be a very bad war. And it could escalate. That war could escalate to be much worse than it is right now. Well, my view is that it was always understood. In fact, I believe that they had a deal, and then Biden broke it. They had a deal which would have been a satisfactory deal to Ukraine and everybody else, but that Biden said, no, you have to be able to join NATO. And that's always been, and nobody knows more about NATO than I. You know, years ago when I first started this, I didn't know too much about NATO, but I got it right anyway. I said, they're taking advantage. I'm the one that got, and the Secretary General was here, as you know, 2 weeks ago, saying that if it weren't for me, NATO wouldn't even exist right now, because I raised from countries that weren't paying their bills. At that time, 28 countries, 20 of them were not paying their bills, 21 to be exact. They weren't paying, or they were paying a very small portion. And I raised over $680 billion, that was the number he gave, by saying, if you don't pay, we're not going to protect you. And as soon as I said that, the money came pouring in. But Obama could have said it. Other people could have said it. Bush could have said it. Nobody said it but me. I took a lot of heat. They said, oh, that's a threatening statement. Well, they weren't paying their bills. I said, we're not going to protect you if you're not paying the bills. So, in a true sense, I saved NATO, but NATO's taken advantage of us. And one of the problems that I have, and I've said it openly, I said it to President Zelensky, Europe is in for a tiny fraction of the money that we're in. Now, whether you like that situation or not, Europe is much more affected than the United States. We have a thing called the ocean in between us, right? Why are we in for billions and billions of dollars more money than Europe? And you know, they're a similar size, a little smaller, but they're a similar size economy as the United States when you add them up. And yet Europe is in for a small fraction of the number the United States is in. Now, Biden could have called them up during the term. That's what I did. I said, you have to pay your bills. And they all, one stood up. I won't say who, you'll probably have it, because the papers, the media hated to report on it. But a prime minister up from a country, you know, a famous meeting of 28 nations with no press, no anybody in the room, he stood up, he says, does that mean if we don't pay our bill, and at that point it was 2%, it should be 5%. It should be 5%, not 2%. But at that point it was 2%, but many people didn't pay. Some people didn't pay anything. But many people were way, including Germany. Germany was at less than 1%. Well, I think NATO should have 5%, yeah.
So let me just slide in. Let me just say this, y'all. Let me just say this. Trump, and I get it. Trump is going after everyone that owes the United States of America. I get it. I done seen a lot of gangster movies. I've been around some gangsters. So I know how gangsters move. I know how they get down. It's all about control. It's all about showing who's bigger and who's badder. However, I've seen some gangster movies such as The Godfather. I've been around some gangsters that move different from the average gangsters. I've been around some gangsters that are comfortable with the little that they have. As long as don't nobody mess with them, then they're not going to mess with nobody. Most of the times, those are the gangsters that last. Most of the times, those are the folks that last a long time. However, when you get these gangsters that wants to be bullies, when you get these gangsters that want to take this, want to take that, when you get these gangsters that want to confront everybody that done something to them in the past, when you get these kind of gangsters that don't believe in letting anything slide, I'll say it again, those are the gangsters that don't last. Now, with Trump, you have 4 years and you haven't even took over as president yet. And you're moving, in my opinion, you're moving reckless because we all know you might be big and you might be bad, but there's always somebody that's bigger and better. You cannot go around pushing people around. You thinking that these countries is going to bow down to you. Remember when you was in office before, your words, Mexico is going to build a wall and Mexico is going to pay for it. We ain't seen that wall yet. I like Trump. I agree with a lot of things that Trump has to say. I agree with a lot of his policies. However, I disagree with the Gulf of Mexico being changed to the Gulf of America. I disagree with him pushing up on Greenland, trying to take over Greenland. I disagree with him trying to make Canada, and Canada loves the United States of America. However, they got their own thing going on over there. They're known as Canadians. Now, how is that going to work if you force the Canadians, if you force these people to be the 53rd or 54th state of the United States of America? You're bullying them. You're taking over. And Panama also. Why? I mean, why? Why would you even attempt to go after these other places when America ain't happy as we speak right now? Do you realize all of the issues? We got wildfires. We got wildfires out there in California. We got ice storms in the east and part of the south. We got unemployment issues. We got all of these issues. Right? That's why I disagree with it. That's why I disagree with it. Focus on the in-house problems. Focus on what we are going through in America first. That's first. Let's nip it in the bud. Let's get America. Let's get the American people on the same course. Let's unite the American people before we can attempt to go after other people's land. That's why I disagree. It might be in our best interest to make the Gulf of Mexico Gulf of America. It might be in our best interest to make Canada one of our states. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. So if any of you all thinks that what Trump is doing, if y'all think that it's going to benefit us, if y'all think that it's a good move, please share with me. I just don't see it. Now, I will backtrack it. But I just don't see it. And the reason why I don't see it is because, okay, Coffee Girl says I do. Please explain to me, Coffee Girl. Please explain to me why it's beneficial for us to make Canada a state in the United States of America. Why is it beneficial for Gulf of Mexico to be changed to Gulf of America? Why is it beneficial to go after the Panama Canal? Why? Help me understand, because I just don't see it. And just because I don't see it, don't mean that it's not legit, or don't mean that it's, it's not beneficial. That's why I'm saying somebody help me understand, because I just still think about all of the problems that we face in this country, all of the issues. Coffee Girl says because Russia and China are going up to the top of Canada and spying on us, and Canada isn't stopping them. All right. But is it Canada's responsibility? Martin says, if Canada votes and agrees, I think it could be a good thing. But I strongly oppose using military force. All right, all right. I'm on the page with y'all both. Okay, Coffee Girl and Martin. Coffee Girl says, he's saying if they aren't doing anything about it, then we should be able to go up there. Okay, okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. And we just don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to be wide open for nobody to attack. I get that. I get that. I get that. Make sure y'all double tap the screen. Get the likes up. James says, I agree with both. Okay. So we got 3 people so far that agrees with Trump. I could take that. Coffee Girl says they don't have a strong military. Okay. Coffee Girl says if Russia attacks, they are going through Canada's. Sabrina says Greenland and Canada have natural resources, especially oil. Yeah, I was listening to something, and the Eskimos, they were talking about, you know, they natural resources, the natural resources that they have. Okay. Okay, I could accept that. I could accept that. Coffee Girl says, and our military will have to defend both countries. Okay. Now you good, Coffee Girl, you good. So we got 3 that agree with Trump. If you agree with Trump, drop a 1. If you agree with him making Canada a state in the United States of America, Coffee Girl says Gulf of America makes sense. If y'all agree with him changing the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America, drop a 1. If y'all agree with him going after the Panama Canal, Sharon dropped the 1 on. That's okay. So we got 5. We got 5 that agrees with Trump. Anybody else that agrees with Trump, drop a 1. So far we got 5. Coffee Girl says because it's water that sits between the North and South America. Martin dropped the 1. Martin says, but it has to be fairly negotiated. No military force. I think I heard somebody else saying that too, Martin. Coffee Girl says the Panama Canal was built by America. Okay, okay. James says also it will make it harder for the migrants to cross Canada. 111. Georgie says, when did Canada say they wanted to be a state of the U.S.? Coffee Girl says it's ours. Georgie says, when did Canada say they wanted to be a state of the U.S.? I heard some Canadians, not many, but I did hear some Canadians say that, you know, they all for it. But the majority of the Canadians, they wasn't agreeing with it. Make sure y'all double tap the screen and get my likes up. We're going to get out of here, y'all. Anybody else with some comments? Georgie says people in Australia joke about being the 51st state of America. Ha would be cool. Sirocco says Canada can't be the 51st state. It has 10 provinces and 3 territories. Too big to join. Plus, they don't want to join. Coffee Girl says they didn't, but if Russia invaded, they surely will want to be Americans then. What's the chances of Russia invading? Salute Marie. Marie says, I'm not sure. Fix what is not broken. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. I appreciate all the super stickers and the super chats. I appreciate y'all hitting the like button. I'm going to take a few more comments, then we're going to get out of here. And what I'll do is I'll do another demonstration on this, whereas, you know, I'll backtrack everything. I'll do some more investigation, more homework. And Coffee Girl, if you have any, thing that you want me to check out, just, send the links to me pertaining, Donald Trump. Curran says, God bless America and everyone. Give me some more comments, and then we're going to get out of here. Appreciate you, Coffee Girl. So Rocco says, we shouldn't invade Mexico either. We shouldn't invade Mexico either. Marie says, I mean to say by fix what is not broken. Yeah, that's what I was always taught. If it's not broke, don't try to fix it. But like Trump was saying, a lot of people have been getting away with owing us. A lot of countries have been getting away with mistreating America. So I get it. Marie says, why fix what is not broken? I get it. Give me a couple more comments, y'all. We'll get out of here. Karen says, pray. Salute, Chang. Salute, Chang. Appreciate you for pulling up, Chang. Salute, Chang. Any more comments, y'all, before we get out of here? If no more comments, I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Make sure y'all subscribe to the backup channel after as the Tylenol is waiting. Salute, everybody. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Salute. Karen says, keep it coming, Shank. Appreciate you, Karen.